Hello, and welcome to this tutorial where I'll show you how you use colors and create colors in InDesign. When we want to create colors in InDesign, we have to use the Swatches palette. Sometimes by default it is set up here in the upper corner, and you can click Swatches and get your swatch palette. You can also tear the palette off so that you don't have to see any of the other palettes underneath. In here, we have some standard colors that we can choose from. In my toolbox, I have a fill color, and I also have a stroke or frame color. So if I'm drawing a shape, and there's no fill color or stroke color assigned to it, I use the Swatches palette, and then I can click one of these and turn it to the color that I want. Right now, the fill color is in the forefront. This no symbol, of course, means that there's no color. Now, the fill color is filled with blue, and of course, my shape is changed accordingly. If I want to put a stroke around that color, I click on the stroke or frame underneath, and now I can put a stroke or frame around the edge. If I go to the top menu, I can thicken the stroke if I want to see it more. I can also screen the color. A screen means that, like in painting, it's a lighter version of the color and should not be confused with opacity. We'll talk about opacity in another demo. When I want to make this color a lighter version, so say for example it's black, I can then screen the color to whatever I want it to be. So let's draw us a shape and fill it with a color. Right up here at the top of the swatches is what they call the tint. It's at 100%, meaning that it's 100% black, but if I wanted to make this a gray, I just click and slide my arrow down, and it becomes whatever gray I want it to be. So right now, it's 20% of black, or a 20% gray. I can continue to change the color to it, and when I change its color, note that it's still 20% of this blue, 20% of this magenta, 20% of this yellow, and so on. It's because that the tint percentage has actually been assigned to the box or shape itself, not the color. So if I were to draw another shape, and fill it with a different color, you can see that this shape is 100% of the color. So when you assign a tint, you're not assigning it to the color, you're assigning it to the shape that you've created. So that means whenever you change the color in that shape, it's going to change to whatever tint that you assign it to. Once you've assigned a tint to it, you can also adjust that tint if you want it lighter or darker. And if you want the tint back to a full color, just set your tint to 100%, and now any color that I assign to it is 100% again. I'm going to go ahead and assign a stroke to this. We're going to make it a little bigger so that you can see. I can also adjust the stroke colors. So if I want a stroke or a frame of a lighter or screen or tint, then all I have to do is make sure that the stroke or frame is at the top, select the color that I want, and adjust the tint. Keeping in mind that similar to fill, the tint that you assign to it is 100%, and it affects only the box, not the color. So if I wanted to change this to a tint of blue, then I would just click blue and it changes. And this is how we select colors in InDesign.